Presenting
Rolling.
Roland Martin joins us. Good morning, Roland.
Donnie Simpson, what's going on?
Nothing
Hey,
much,
folks.
brother. How you doing, man?
Good to chat with you. Good to chat with you.
Yeah, you too, man. Y'all warm up back at DCM?
No. but it's supposed to be around. It's supposed to be warming up Friday, but I'm going to be. I will not be here. I'll be in LA, of course.
Okay.
Yes,
well,
I will be on the road tomorrow. Alabama A&M University. I'll be the MLK speaker. Looking forward to speaking at the Ernest L. Knight Reception Hall. Then Friday, head to LA, of course. The NAACP Image Awards airs on TV One on Monday. The pre-show is on Sunday night, where I'm up for Best Host and also, of course, Best News Show with News One Now.
All right. Congratulations, Ro.
Yep. Hopefully we'll bring it back the victory. And then, but I will not be attending the show Monday night because I'll be at the pre-show dinner on Sunday night. But Monday, I'll be in San Antonio as the MLK Day speaker in San Antonio. So busy MLK Day weekend, so looking forward to it. Speaking of busy, I did a video on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope at the outset of this year saying voter suppression is going to be a huge issue. Black folks will have a target on our backs as a result of what took place in Alabama, the massive black turnout. That is definitely going to be the case. There's several things that are happening right now in the country that we need to be aware of. Joining us right now is the leader of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Sherrilyn Ifill. Sherrilyn, how are you doing?
I'm doing terrific. How are you, Roland?
I am doing great, and let's jump right into it. First off, yesterday, a huge decision made by a federal judge. The Republican National Committee no longer has a consent decree involved, so they can now be involved in so-called, quote, ballot security, which is the first time that'll be the case in about 35 years. That's a huge thing we have to be watching out for.
Yes, absolutely. These are cases that were litigated in the 80s and 90s, and in the New Jersey case, the Republican Party was under a consent decree, and now that has been lifted. When you think about the ending of some of these consent decrees, combined with the Supreme Court's decision in the Shelby case that removed the protections of Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act, it's really left us really having to be vigilant ourselves over the issue of voter suppression. And what you've seen over the last few years, as you've seen all of the voter ID cases and you've seen all of the various voter suppression activities that have happened around the country, are the result of that. And it's meant that people like me and others who do this work have been kept very busy trying to protect our right to vote.
And, of course, today the Supreme Court, also a huge case they are hearing today that speaks to voter suppression coming out of Ohio.
Yes, this is Husted versus A. Philip Randolph Institute. I'm about 2 blocks from the Supreme Court and hope to get in to hear the arguments this morning. This is a case challenging whether a state can begin the process of purging voters from the roll based on the fact that a voter has not voted over a series of elections. Now, the National Voter Registration Act, which was passed in 1993, makes explicit that states cannot purge voters, cannot punish you for not voting, because actually not voting is a form of expression also. Some people don't show up to the polls because they feel they don't have any candidate that they believe in or because they want to sit out a particular election. But then a candidate comes along and excites voters. For example, Barack Obama in 2008, and for some communities, Donald Trump in 2016. And voters who maybe haven't voted in the last 5 years or the last 6 years decide this candidate excites me and I want to vote. That's the whole point of get out the vote activities, getting people who have been sitting on the sidelines. Well, in Ohio, they have begun the process of purging voters from the rolls based on voters who have sat on the sidelines. And we believe this violates the National Voter Registration Act and violates the rights of voters. This is the whole essence of the political process, to excite people and bring them back into the process. It's been demonstrated that once voters are removed from the rolls, it's very rare that they will re-register and get back on the rolls. And so this is yet another one of the ways that states are using to take voters off the voter rolls. The arguments will be important this morning. This is a key, critical case in the Supreme Court this term, and all eyes will be on Ohio.
Are you willing to make a prediction?
I actually think we have a strong case here, and so I'm believing that the Supreme Court is going to do the right thing in this case. We've been playing whack-a-mole with voter suppression. I think the court is aware that we have a real problem in this country, and I do believe this is a very clear violation of the National Voter Registration Act, and so I'm counting on the court to do the right thing.
That's a great visual. Whack-a-mole.
Every one of us should be thanking the NAACP, LDF for the work they've been doing when it comes to civil rights in this voting issue. The lawsuits matter, folks. You must also support them as well. Real quick, Sherrilyn, what's the website that folks want to give to help you?
You want to go to www.naacpldf.org. I know people think we're the same organization as the NAACP, but we're not. NAACPLDF for Legal Defense Fund.org. You can get all kinds of information about the work that we're doing in civil rights, our suit against the Trump Election Commission that finally was disbanded last week, and all of the work that we do. I hope you will come to the website, learn more, and then most importantly, get involved.
All right. Sherrilyn, thanks a lot.
All right.
Keep up the great
Thank
work.
you, Sherrilyn. Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you too,
day.
Roland.
All right, folks.